the answer. I stayed true to my youthful beliefs. I think they were correct. Obviously, in details, I got a lot wrong. I was a Maoist. I think that the transformation of China in the 20th century is probably going to be the only event of the 20th century that's going to be remembered. There was something spectacular that happened in China. In my generation, China was called the sick man of Asia. And there were only two images of China. One was the Chinese rickshaw, pulling the rickshaw for the British gentleman. That was a very vivid image. Back bent and pulling the rickshaw for the British gentleman, okay? And the other image was famine. China was synonymous with famine, okay? And now the 21st century, China is the cutting edge of world capitalism. Will overtake the United States if the United States doesn't destroy it, which is a realistic possibility. So I was wrong because I thought the Chinese Revolution was the cutting edge of world communism. Turned out to be the cutting edge of world capitalism. That's not a small error. But on the other hand, the promise of the Chinese Revolution to transform the population such that China has pulled 800 million people out of what's called extreme poverty. That's quite a significant achievement. So I could get details wrong, but my belief that the world is fundamentally wrong and we have to fight to transform it, and the belief that something better is possible, something fundamentally better is possible. I'm the only one who held on to my beliefs. All my friends, they said, who was the age cohort that was least supportive of Bernie Sanders? It was the baby boomers. He could never get more than like 13% of the vote among the baby boomers, okay? The 60s generation. I worked for Bernie Sanders' campaign. I stayed true to my beliefs, and I'm proud of that. Those were very important years in my life, filled with idealism, filled with hope, and filled with the fighting spirit. And obviously, I made errors. There were course corrections. As a kid, I chanted from the river to the sea, So I had to make errors, but I stayed true to the values of my youth. And those are the people I respect. All of my heroes, they died with the beliefs, the fundamental beliefs that they started out with. Whether it was a Karl Marx, who famously said, "Come hail or high water, I will not let the bourgeoisie turn me into a money-making machine." Whether it was a Rosa Luxemburg, who said, "When I die, I wanted to be either in prison, in a street fight, or at my post." And that's how she died. She was killed in a street fight. Whether it be a Paul Sweezy, the great American Marxist economist, who was a mentor of mine, or whether it was Paul Robeson, or W.E.B. Du Bois, until the last day they paid the price, but stayed true to their beliefs. And they inspired me. And that to me is the test. It's a test of time. Sure, you're going to make errors and you have to correct them. But the fundamental beliefs were correct, in my opinion. The belief that this system is wretched. It's much more wretched now than it was back then. And that a better world, it's not a certainty. In that generation, it was viewed as a certainty, namely, the capitalism was going to collapse, socialist revolution was inevitable. It was programmed into the system that it had to collapse and socialism had to replace it. The belief in that historical inevitability, no, it's no longer there. There's no sense of we are agents of inevitable historic change, but the possibility remains. You never know. I can't say with certainty, but I still maintain the possibility that a better world is possible, and that it's worth fighting for.